Hey, Giants fans, it's the MSG Watch and Win sweepstakes. Every week, you have a chance to win some cool and exciting prizes. You could win signed Giants merch or tickets to a game. All you have to do is tune in every week on MSG Networks. Look out for a special keyword and sign up at msgnetworks.com. Just scan the QR code on the screen with your smartphone to sign up. And this week's keyword is Danny Dimes. Sign up now for your chance to win. Good luck. And this week's prizes, fellas, this is a good one.
All right.
2 tickets to the Giants-Rams game at MetLife Stadium on October 17th.
The reunion.
And parking passes.
Oh, the parking pass is gold.
That's gold.
That's gold right there, the parking
that,
pass.
Is an underrated thing, but that's a solid element, too. Keyword, Danny Dimes, don't forget it. And Danny Dimes, 402 yards, and, you know, that interception, too, on the stat sheet. But that was a Hail Mary.
Before half.
That was a Hail Mary.
Somebody's going to look that didn't watch the game. Well, he threw an interception.
Yeah.
It was before half, and it was in Hail Mary. You know that's going to happen.
Doesn't count, does it?
It shouldn't count. They should have separate stats. Make sure that the quarterbacks, you know, when they get all the interceptions that they deserve instead of just
Well, if a wide receiver drops one and it gets batted up.
No, that doesn't happen.
Okay.
No, it doesn't happen.
Wide receivers are
What are you talking about?
I don't know. I mean, before the break, too, we were talking a little bit about this O-line, the reconfiguration. Matt Skura, of course, getting the start at left guard today.
Yeah.
You and I were talking about this a little bit watching the game and how significant that is for him.
No doubt about it. I mean, for him to start his first game in the NFL at left guard coming off a practice squad says a lot about the belief that they had in him, but also going back to Jason Garrett's game plan, slide protections, max protection, screens dialed in to slow down that D-line and that pass rush. Those are all things that aid an offensive line that are transitioning into the fourth combination as the offensive line. As we said, it's easier to pass protect by doing this, but the reps they got in the second half and the buildup of that is only going to bode well for them next week.
Yeah, Cam Jordan, you didn't hear his name pretty much the entire game, so it just shows you that maybe that should be more a part of the game plan in terms of helping the offensive line as opposed to doing some of the things they were in the first couple of weeks, because whatever they did in terms of game planning, it worked today because Daniel Jones had clear vision down the field, and his playmakers were there to make some plays for him.
And they really stuck with it, and they committed, because there were some moments where it felt like the air was starting to leave the balloon in the second half. But then, you know, they come back, they get that touchdown. Daniel Jones punches it in for that 2-point, and suddenly it's a one-possession game. So that's kind of a positive thing as well. All right, but before we continue this conversation, we're going to send it down to New Orleans because Joe Judge is addressing the media.
Check. What's going on, guys? So, we're proud of the team, the way they fought. We talked about coming down here ready for 60 minutes in this kind of environment, this kind of a team. Obviously, it took more than 60 minutes. As we talk about with the way we work, you know, whatever it takes is what we're going to work for. Make sure we come out victorious. Look, that was obviously a very good team today, a very well-coached team, a lot of talent. We knew they were going to be, you know, a team that was going to keep on you for 60 minutes, that they could score at any time. And their defense won top in the NFL, and obviously their kicking game, you know, was ready for explosive plays at any point in time. So we knew all three phases had to come to play today, play good complementary football. I'm proud of the way the guys prepared throughout the week, and obviously carried over and, you know, having opportunities to have success on the field. So that being said, I'll open up to any questions you guys have.
What does a win like that say about your team?
Look, we're just sticking to the process. You know, I've been talking about this for the last, you know, I guess, 3-4 weeks, whatever it's been now, even going back to training camp. And, you know, everyone wants to come in here right now and have a big emotional whatever. The reality is, you know, we're going to go back. We're going to watch this tape. We're going to identify things we have to correct. It wasn't perfect today. We look at things we're doing well. We'll continue to build forward. You know, we can't ride this roller coaster, you know, every week. You know, for us, we've got to be able to look at the tape from the last few weeks and understand who we are as a team. And to get the results, we have to play a certain way. There's some things that came in the game today we were able to overcome. But we got to make sure we look at the tape and be very honest with ourselves in terms of what the Cowboys are looking at right now in terms of tape, what they're looking for a mismatch. So in terms of us as a team, you know, I've told you guys for a long time, I gauge the guys based on how they come to work every week, how they respond to the meetings, how attentive they are. That's what I see from our guys. I see a lot of mental toughness right there. I see a lot of guys sticking together as a team. And obviously we come to work each week, and we're working to give ourselves a chance to have success.
Joe, it was kind of tough sledding for Saquon early on. How rewarding was it for him to obviously close that game out and seem to come alive a little bit more in the second half?
Yeah, look, with this kind of defense, it's not going to just go ahead and burst open right away. I mean, this is one of the top run defenses in the league. So you don't go into this right here and just think like all of a sudden you got some magical play and it's going to just go ahead and seam right open. You got to stay to the run, committed to the run. And staying with the run doesn't mean you have to run it 50 times. But you got to stay consistent with your game plan of calling the things, give you a chance to have the runs and things that come off the runs. I thought Jason did a really nice job today of that. And that obviously, led into some plays for Saquon in space with some, catches, some screens, things of that nature. And then obviously with the run at the end of the game, it's a guy who's been plugging away, working hard, getting better every week. Our team's been improving every week, so I'm proud of the way it happens. And look, we don't care who gets the points. We don't care who makes the plays. It's just as long as it's a Giant.
Can you speak, though, to maybe how happy that group is in there for him? That he's been kind of grinding.
Yeah, and I've said this before about Saquon. I think the thing with Saquon is, everybody's seen, how much he's worked, how hard he's worked, the adversity he's had to overcome. This wasn't a small injury that he's had to work and battle through. He's gone through a lot of things, and he's kept the team first in everything he's done. And they see that. There's a reason this guy was elected captain by his teammates to represent them with how he works, all right, and how he performs on the field. So, in terms of seeing him have success, again, it's collective success. It's everybody's win. So Saquon obviously punched the ball in there at the end to close it out. That's what we wanted. We wanted to get the ball back and have an opportunity to go ahead and just finish the game on out right there. And that's what we were able to do.
What did you think of Daniel's performance?
I'm going to watch the tape before making any just broad stroke blanket statements. But, on the surface right now coming out, I thought he handled a lot of things very well. Obviously with the environment, thought he did a good job preparing this week in terms of the communication. We made as tough on these guys as we could in practice. Thought that obviously carried over into the game. I think he did a really good job with the players throughout the week of working on that communication aspect of it, even away from the coaches in different meetings. So, he was able to go out there and make some big throws. Obviously hit the shot down to John, for the big play early on. But he was consistently able to find open receivers, and make good, accurate throws and the right decisions right there. So, again, I say all the time, he's a guy that you just see through the way he works and the performance that keeps on coming. You don't have to go out there and go ahead and force the game. You just got to go out there and make the plays that are in front of you.
You guys broke Kadarius out pretty well today a little bit. Can you speak to kind of what you saw, without looking at the film, but obviously he was...
I think that's just a result of him just being ready to play like he was and, being used to the offense and obviously being in a situation when the ball came his way and made plays. And, look, he's a guy that, we've known he's got talent. We know he's a very competitive guy. He's a guy that has the ability to make big plays. I think you're starting to see a lot of that, obviously, on the field in the games. We see a lot of it at practice on a regular basis. Not a surprise to us he makes those plays. This wasn't something we had to go ahead and diagram and gadget in specific. Just he was part of the offense. He's part of the offense every week. We're calling plays, and he's out there making them.
Did the Saints do what you thought they would do as far as quarterback, bringing in, Taysom a couple different times? Obviously, you prepared for that, but was it what you thought it would be? And kind of give us a comment about Taysom Hill.
First of all, that guy's a heck of a player. I mean, he's a big, strong man. He obviously poses a lot of issues in terms of how they use him. Running as a quarterback, as a receiver, as a runner, in the kicking game as a personal protector. You guys don't realize that when he's on that punt team, that truly makes it a defensive play. That's a whole different animal, having a guy out there who's an actual quarterback and also is an actual running back at the same time. So you've got to go ahead out there and play their punt team like it's an offensive play. Everyone wants to go ahead and diagram, double vice returns or max rushes, but you got a guy out there who can do what he does. You've got to address this game a little bit differently. So when you talk to your team about the punt team early in the week, the first thing you start with is, hey, look, it's fourth down defense. We got to get off the field. So we may have a returner back there, but it's a defensive play. These gunners on the outside, they're just receivers. You got Montgomery out there covering. Gray's very capable of catching the ball right there. They're not going to be hesitant to go ahead and call fake when they think they have something that's going to work on you, dialed up. They're very aggressive. Sean always does a very good job playing the game aggressively. We expected him to go for it in a lot of the fourth down situations throughout the game. We expected to see a healthy dose of number 7 in different positions, which we obviously saw. And the quarterback power that they run with him is just a tough scheme to stop. It really is, because when the quarterback's running that, you really gain an extra blocker, okay? Because you don't have to have someone hand it off and get out of the way. You actually gain the extra blocker. It's a tough scheme. There's a reason this guy's closed out a lot of games. Where you go back to the game last weekend, the 4-minute drive, this guy was able to run the ball consistently and make positive yards. You knew going in, you're not going to go ahead and just shut this guy down and stone him. So you've got to go ahead and just keep playing each play. They're going to make plays. That's the way they are. But, we got to have a puncher's mentality of being able to get hit and swing back.
Joe, Jason Garrett was very aggressive, throwing the ball down the field. What did you think of his game plan and how it was executed?
We talked throughout the week on the game plan of what it was going to be and how we wanted to go after these guys. Look, I think Jason did a really good job today feeling the flow of the game and taking what was presented to us. And Daniel did a good job facilitating the offense. The receivers made plays for us down the field. I thought the offensive line did a good job inside of giving them time to throw. And that was something really, we came in this game knowing how well they do on defense. You get in the third down defense, a heavy pressure defense. You got a guy like Cam Jordan sitting there on the right edge as we see it. I mean, that's a guy you got to account for. So, again, when you go into these games, you have to think about what does the other team have? How do you have to match up on them? So you start with the Saints defense in terms of, all right, the pass rush, then get after you up front with the inside movement, twist, talking about the third down dime packages. their outside edge with the pass rushers. That's something you've got to be able to handle. And then also, you've got backers that play very aggressive and sticky. And then you got the secondary, which those guys on the corners can match up and play man or match zone as much as you want to. And very experienced, very savvy safeties who at any point are looking to pounce and steal a ball. So when you go into a game like this, obviously, we're always going to play everything aggressively. Okay, sometimes our aggressive may seem different to somebody else. For example, sometimes we may punt the ball and someone says, well, that's not being very aggressive. Whereas I look at it saying, I'm going to be aggressive with the coverage units and aggressive with the defense, go make a stop. Sometimes you can go ahead and say, well, keeping the offense out there may be the most aggressive play. Sometimes that's just foolish.
I know you speak of not being hit too hard, why not going back to the drawing board thing, but are you a believer in the psychology results and, and what this could do to your psyche if you're going to become here?
I'm a believer in the process. I'm a believer in the process. I'm a believer in not looking at the result and thinking that justifies what you do. I'm a believer in coming back to work every week and knowing what it takes to be successful and sticking to that plan and not abandoning it because maybe you didn't get the result. Sometimes you go back to the process and did we complete the process correctly to put us in position for results. Results are the most, deceiving thing in mankind. If you keep focused with what's away from you and forget about the steps you have to complete on the way there, you'll never get to where you really want to be.
Is this a franchise quarterback performance by Daniel Jones today?
Look, I love Daniel. He had a heck of a game today. I'm going to look at everything right there. I'm not going to go ahead and start making, broad picture statements and headline type things. If you're asking if he's our quarterback, as I said consistently, Daniel Jones is our quarterback. However you want to label that and go forward with that, you guys can put that in the paper. But look, I'm very proud of how this guy came down here, prepared throughout the week, and the performance he had in the field today in that environment against that defense.
Well, I think he's kind of getting us. Did he kind of put you on his shoulders there? Did he kind of say, hey, I'm going to make sure that I can get these guys, you were struggling to score points, and he can get you points when you needed them the most?
Yeah, I think I saw that from Daniel as well as the offensive line, the receivers. I saw it from the tight end, saw it from the running back, saw it from all of our guys, Jordan. So in terms of, putting the game on our shoulders, obviously that guy touches the ball every play, right? So obviously, he's the guy who's got to be most consistent with performance because every play he does it. But in terms of, putting the game on our shoulders, there's 53 guys in that locker room that each one of them came into work on Wednesday and knew that it was going to take every single one of us to be successful down here. So I'd say the entire team put each other on their shoulders.
All right, thanks, Coach.
You good, Art? You got something?
I'm good, Joe.
You good? You guys good?
Were you asked about John Ross?
Oh, it was not. No.
Okay. So much for easing him in, huh?
And we ain't got time for that.
Yeah.
No, look, I mean, again, you guys ask about, can guys have a role or an impact as far as what it is. I always go back to it depends on how they prepare to learn the offense, be in position, and make the plays, and then how they execute. And I'd say he obviously executed some key situations for us today, some big catches. I thought, look, the one he had for the touchdown, that's something we talk about all the time, talking about playing through possession, not just playing through the whistle. He obviously was down there. Is it a touchdown? Is it not? He didn't hesitate. He got on the ball right away. And what they ended up ruling that was a catch, a fumble, and an immediate recovery for the touchdown right there. So had he not played that situationally aware right there, it could have been a big turn the other way.
That sound from head coach Joe Judge was brought to you by Ford. Now, obviously we saw the numbers. Daniel Jones, a career-high 402 yards passing. Giants had 485 yards of total offense, but Joe Judge is pretty constant. Win or lose, he wants his team to get back in the film room and kind of go over where they can go, where they can do better. And, we were talking about this earlier, the corrections we saw that this team needed to make in weeks 1, 2, and 3. Where did you see those effectively today?
Well, number one, starting with penalties. Coming into this game, the Giants had 21 penalties for 188 yards. That's essentially giving the first three teams Derrick Henry before you even kick off the football game. So you think 3 penalties, an offensive pass interference, a holding, and then a legal substitution there in fourth quarter were the only 3 penalties they had for 25 yards. Turnovers. Only 1 apiece. Obviously, Bradbury had the interception on Taysom Hill, and then obviously the Hail Mary with Daniel Jones. Now, when you start to do this and you start to play sound, disciplined football where you don't turn the football over, it allows you to play aggressive. It allows you to expand your playbook on third down. It allows you to have more flexibility to where now we can focus on not giving up points before the half and making sure on the edges, especially in open field, that we start getting some more clean tackles instead of missed tackles by the defense.
Absolutely. In the NFL, more games are lost than won. And, the game, it can turn on such a knife's edge because, Saquon Barkley fumbles the ball going into overtime. And in overtime, or was it before overtime? But he fumbles the ball on the last drive, and the Giants get that ball. If the Giants don't get that ball, the game's over. So it's just the fact that you hustle to the ball, you keep believing. That's when you people say, do you believe? I look at plays like that. plays that you can't see on the stat sheet. Does the entire team rush to get to the football, to pick up the ball? Is everybody going in there with reckless abandon? And that's exactly what the Giants did today, and that's why they come away with the victory.
Yeah, we saw Kyle Rudolph came up clutch, landed on top of that ball at the 35. That was some strong field position. They didn't want to lose it, and he came away with making sure that that ball was safe. All right, we got a lot more coming up on the show. Stay with us. After the break, we're going to hear from Giants quarterback Daniel Jones and much more as Giants Postgame Live, presented by Mercedes-Benz, the official luxury automobile of the New York Giants, continues.
Iced tea, stone cold, calling on everyone to turn to cold washing with Tide.
Hello, my name is Iced Tea. Can you spare a few seconds to learn about cold water washing with Tide?
Hi, my name is Steve. Did you know washing in cold can save you $100 a year on your energy bill?
Why wouldn't you turn to cold? It helps the environment.
What? Because Stone Cold said so. Plus, Tide cleans great in cold.
This was a cold call. In America, the future belongs to everyone. So we built the truck of the future for everyone. Ford F-150 with available Pro Power onboard that acts like a mobile generator and an available tailgate work surface. It's built to get the job done because the truck of the future isn't built for a few. It's built for America. Ford F-150. Drive one today. Now, get a Ford F-150 with 0% financing for 72 months, plus $1,000 retail order bonus cash. See details at buyfordnow.com.
All right, teams, time to bet NFL games. Confidence.
I'm feeling a parlay with more legs than a spider.
So 9 legs?
Roll the dice, baby.
Indecision?
We pick one home favorite. I abstain.
You can't abstain.
Boring! 6-leg parlay, 2 home dogs, all hitting the over. Boom!
Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and feel the NFL action like never before.
This is more than a ball. And this is more than a beer. This ball looks like it was born to sit on the couch. But in the right hands, man, it can fly. And when you look at this pint, it looks dark and heavy, but take a sip and it tastes light and smooth. And if there's anything this ball has taught me, is that if you look out for those around you, you will come back. We'll all come back.
When you're hungry, you're not going to let 5,000 feet of mountain get in your way. And if it tries, that's what our lineup of exceptionally capable, available all-wheel drive SUVs is for. After all, we take this pretty seriously. The SUVs and the dinner. Lease a new 2022 Sportage LX all-wheel drive for $179 a month.
Easy is in. Right now, during Blinds to Go's free and easy sale, it's easy to operate your blinds and shades at huge savings. Take an easy 50% off when you motorize any window treatment. Our motorized app makes it super easy to control your blinds and shades. Plus, get a free cordless upgrade on any product and control your window treatments with a light touch. Easy. 50% off all motorized. Free cordless upgrade only at Blinds to Go. We make it easy.
October 14th to the 17th, join your favorite culinary stars at the 14th Annual Food Network and Cooking Channel New York City Wine and Food Festival.
It's going to be fantastic.
Take part in cooking demonstrations, tastings, dinner events, and more.
The fans really enjoy the festival.
This is your chance to sip, savor, and celebrate the New York City restaurant community. Proceeds benefit New Yorkers in need with God's Love We Deliver and the Food Bank for New York City. Tickets on sale now at nycwff.org.
Investors Bank. Today's scoring drive of the game is brought to you by Investors Bank. Get the official New York Giants checking account only from Investors Bank. Visit investorsbank.com/Giants for more details. For the scoring drive of the game, we head to the first drive of overtime. 9 plays, 75 yards, took 5 minutes and 6 seconds off the clock. Finished with that Saquon Barkley 6-yard rushing touchdown to secure the win for the New York Football Giants on the road, 27 21 in New Orleans. Giants got the win, and that is the Investors Bank drive of the game. That, of course, after Jabril Peppers emphatically said, "We want the ball," or something along those lines.
Some of those terms like that.
I think that's, it's a close quote after the Giants won the toss. That you love to see the energy from one of the captains of this team, this Giants defense. And we've talked a bit about the offense, but the defense was very pivotal in this win. The Saints led 21-10 with 7 minutes left in the game. The defense made some pivotal stops down the stretch.
No doubt about it. The game's 14-10. Saints throw the interception by Taysom Hill to James Bradbury. Giants move the football down a little bit, but unfortunately, they have to punt. What's the next drive for the Saints? It is the Taysom Hill and Alvin Kamara show. 11 plays, 63 yards, drive it all the way down, 6:14 off of the clock. Bounce back. Giants come back on the offensive side of the ball. Saquon gets the touchdown. Big stop that following drive to force a punt by the Giants defense. That was a pivotal moment, and that was the breaking point for the New Orleans Saints down the stretch in the fourth quarter.
I mean, that's the Giants showing a lot of grit. I remember after watching the first Taysom Hill touchdown of 6 yards when he bounced, when 5 defenders bounced off of him. I thought they were just going to wave the white flag, because that was an embarrassing defensive situation when you have your quarterback running through the entire defense. But the fact that they came back and had that big stop at the end of the game to give this team a chance to win, it just shows the resilience that Judge is talking about. And this is kind of what this team is starting to turn into. 2 weeks in a row losing with the last-second field goal, and now all of a sudden, got an opportunity to win a game in overtime. It's hopefully this team will learn from these mistakes and move forward, because this city is a tough place to be if you're losing a lot of games like that.
And you mentioned, you called Taysom Hill the quarterback. That man's more of a football player.
Yeah,
I mean, he's lined up at fullback, he's lined up at tight end, he's lined up at wide receiver. We've seen him all over the place.
He's taking snaps behind a quarterback. He's a quarterback.
There you go. There you go. I mean,
I'm gonna call him quarterback. I'm gonna call him quarterback.
Yeah, he ran in for 2 touchdowns, but again, he did throw that pick as well. And we've seen that kind of up and down with him in that space. But the way that the Giants defense, as you said, made those stops, made those corrections, and kind of came back, and the penalties, I think, was huge. They really kind of scaled that back last week after having 8 penalties. They had 3 today, but not, they're really kind of getting more disciplined in that space as well.
No doubt about it, and that's what makes you play better. When you play more sound and you don't have problems with alignment and assignment and the communication pre-snap, you are going to have issues when it comes to penalties, because you're not playing aggressive. You're playing hesitant, and you're overthinking.
All right, now we're going to head back down to New Orleans as Daniel Jones is addressing the media.
Danny, what were the emotions as Saquon crossed the plane and you guys were able to finally get a win?
Yeah, felt great. This team, everyone's been battling now and haven't gotten the results, obviously, and this one went down to the last minute. Took some extra time, so it was exciting.
Daniel, on that 3rd and short, when you guys huddle up before your pass to Kenny, was that a route you were looking at the entire time? Was there any thought to be there playing a little bit more conservative and going for a field goal, or was that the play all along?
I think that was the thought. That was the thought there, and we wanted to take a shot, and that play has several options to it. So Kenny did a great job winning and getting open. Guys up front did a great job, and he made a heck of a play.
Yeah, you guys have obviously lost 2 games in a row going in here. Do you have any idea what this can do for you guys psychologically coming down here against a lot of odds and whatnot, as you move forward?
Hopefully we can build off of it, and that's the goal, is to use the momentum as we prepare for next week. So there's still things we're going to have to look to clean up and do better. So we'll focus on that, but use the momentum to carry us into next week.
Earlier this week, Saquon said something like, I think it was after the last game, he said somebody's just got to step up, someone's got to do something about this. Starting with your touchdown pass to him today when you guys are down 11, I think. As the quarterback, are you saying to yourself in that moment, like, now's the time? Like, I'm the quarterback, it's going to be me, it's going to be Saquon. Like, are you thinking that way at that moment of the game?
I don't think so. I think, obviously, at that point in the game, we've got to make a play and we've got to do it. But, I think it's the same mindset, trusting what we do as an offense, trusting the group. and taking what they give us, and they gave us an opportunity there. So it's about taking it, and I think in those situations, it's about trusting it. It's about trusting what we do, staying true to that, and knowing that someone's going to step up and make a play. So Saquon did a great job there.
What is this?
That sound from Giants quarterback Daniel Jones was brought to you by Ford. Stay with us. We've got a lot more coming up on the program as Giants Postgame Live, presented by Mercedes-Benz, continues after this short break. We'll be right back.
Over the years, Mercedes-Benz has patented thousands of safety innovations, crash-tested so many cars we've stopped counting, and built our most punishing test facility yet in our effort to build the world's safest cars. We've created crumple zones and autonomous braking, active lane keeping assist, and blind spot assist. We've introduced airbags, side curtain airbags, and now the first ever rear-mounted front impact airbags. All in the hope that you never need any of it.
On this field, they know me by my name and my number. I put in the work, and yeah, I'm proud of my accomplishments. I retired from the game, but not from wanting to achieve more. I'm on my business journey now, and my banking partner is Investors Bank. They give me the tools and the resources to reach my business goals. For what I do now and what I'll do next, I count on Investors Bank.
Every day, nearly 2 million customers across New Jersey rely on PSE&G to provide natural gas. And every day, PSE&G is committed to doing it safely. That includes making sure you know what to do if you smell gas. A natural gas leak smells like rotten eggs. If you suspect a gas leak, leave your home immediately. Get far away, then call 911. Remember, smell, leave, call. Protect the ones you love. Learn more at pseg.com/gas safety.
Hey, you! Domino's is giving away $50 million in surprise frees.
A whole pizza?
Yes. Other delivery apps add surprise fees.
Not cheap.
At Domino's, we're giving out surprise frees instead.
Surprise freeze! Surprise what? Freeze with an R.
When you order delivery online, you could be surprised with free lava cakes, free stuffed cheesy bread, free pizza, or more.
Yes!
Check the Domino's tracker to find out. Where are you gonna have pizza next time?
Domino's!
That's what I love to hear.
With a full range of BMW X vehicles available, no matter what adventure lies around the corner, there's an X for that.
Hurry and release a 2022 BMW X3 X-Drive 30i for $529 per month.
Today's game was presented by Verizon 5G. It's 5G built right for the Giants. Welcome back to Giants Postgame Live. You know, the last time the Giants went down to New Orleans and got the win, Howard Cross caught a touchdown. Now he's in the broadcast team. Let's send it down to Howard Cross, Carl Banks, and John Ross.
Carl. 1-2, 1-2. Ready. Oh, we're back, guys. We're with John Ross, who made one of the biggest plays of the game to really get the momentum going on the Giants side. But, John, first, you've had a journey to get back on the field.
Absolutely.
And you knew what this game meant as a team. Talk about the feeling of winning this game in overtime.
Oh, man, it feels really good, you know, just given what, you know, this team has been through this year, the start of this year and last year. It feels really good, you know, so to come out together and, you know, come out and fight and finish, it's one of the best feelings ever. You can't ask for anything more.
You had two games where everything was so close. You were right there for the win. Now you get a chance to come in and you make from the first big play of the game. What's in your mindset? What was happening?
Just a different mindset. Come in with confidence, and I can honestly say that in the past years I really haven't had that much confidence, you know. So coming in, I just wanted to, you know, just play my game. You know, there's a lot of playmakers on this team. There's a lot of guys who can, you know, be that spark plug. I just want to come in and, you know, do everything that I can to put us in position to win.
So talk about playmakers. You make a big one. At what point did you know when the play was called that, okay, I can get a chance to take the top off of the defense? Did you know that from alignment, from huddle call? And then when that call was made, What was going through your head when the ball was in the air?
Smiles, all smiles.
Yeah.
Because I knew I'm going to get a chance right here, and thankful for the coaches to give me a chance, and DJ putting a perfect ball out there, and I just had to go get it. And again, it's just another confidence piece, and just like I said, when I lined up, nothing but smiles. I told the guys, man, I knew it was coming, and I was excited that it did.
One more. I talked about this team lacking alpha personalities, and I saw 26 become a beast. Like, he just transformed into something different. Talk about that. What was the energy of the team around the effort that he put in?
That's kind of his deal, At halftime, he spoke to us, and he got us going, and everybody's locked in. When 26 talks, everyone listens. That's his thing. And we know how important he is being out there on that field. With the ball in his hands. And I always say to him, like, he probably don't hear me because it'd be so loud and stuff. I say the game missed 26. So yeah. It's good to see him out there. Good to see him balling in, man. It feels good. So we just wanted to follow his lead once he started making those plays and continue building off everything that he was doing.
Well, last question for me is that the outside the locker room. All the pundits will be like writing you guys off. Tell me where you guys feel like you are right now, especially just after one win, but where do you feel you are right now?
Well, I mean, everybody knows who our coach is,
Yeah,
so we're not too much worried about what everybody else is saying. A lot of people want to write you off, but it's kind of hard to do that. It's week 4. So many things can happen. This is the NFL. This is how it happens. Everybody. You never know what can happen each and every week. Right. Somebody can come out on top. You can be 0-4 and end up winning the next 10 games. I'm not saying that's what I'm predicting, but I'm saying that's how this league works. You never know. It's unpredictable. It just depends on how hard you work and how hard you build. And a lot of these guys are like myself. I'm new to this team. We still figuring it out, and we have a chance each and every week to continue figuring it out.
Well, we appreciate your time, and let you get to the bus so you don't have to sprint behind it. Back to you guys.
Thanks, guys. Hey, you know what? If he did have to sprint to the bus, we know that 4.240 time from the Combine. It's still in those genes there. We saw John Ross playing pretty well today in his Giants debut. Stay with us. We got a lot more coming up on the program as Giants Postgame Live presented by Mercedes-Benz continues after this.
This is more than a ball, and this is more than a beer. This ball looks like it was born to sit on the couch, but in the right hands, man, it can fly. And when you look at this pint, it looks dark and heavy, but take a sip, and it tastes light and smooth. And if there's anything this ball has taught me, is that if you look out for those around you, you will come back. We'll all come back.
In America, the future belongs to everyone, so we built the SUVs of the future for everyone. Ford Escape and Explorer, built with Bliss to help detect vehicles in your blind spot, and with lane keeping system, because the SUVs of the future aren't built for a few. They're built for America. Ford Escape and Explorer. Drive one today. Come into your local Ford stores for special lease and financing options on the well-equipped Ford Explorer. View more at buyfordnow.com.
One thing we know for sure is things are always changing. So there are still reasons you may need COVID-19 testing. And Quest has options for the whole family, available at no cost to you. Simply schedule a test online for a nearby location and get your test results back as soon as the next day. Millions of people like you have trusted Quest for their COVID-19 testing. So schedule your test today at questcovid19.com. That's questcovid19.com.
First thing first, I'm 11-19. And you gon' respect me, yo. And you gon' respect me. I put on my woes and hit on my goals, and you gon' respect me.
Welcome back to Giants Postgame.
Really did a great job getting pressure on.
Here's head coach Joe Judge.
Our guys are going to fight straight on through. Made some big-time throws.
We're going to hear from the guy who threw that touchdown.
I'm looking forward to next week and the next challenge.
We've got a lot more coming up on the program.
Here's a good Halloween trick. Buy a bunch of Reese's. There you go. Turn off all the lights in your house. Yeah. And then just don't answer the door. Not sorry, Reese's.
fans, it's the MSG Watch and Win Sweepstakes. Every week you have a chance to win some cool and exciting prizes. You could win signed Giants merch or tickets to a game. All you have to do is tune in every week on MSG Network and look out for a special keyword and sign up at msgnetworks.com. Just scan the QR code on the screen with your smartphone to sign up. This week's keyword is Danny Dimes. Sign up now for your chance to win, and good luck out there. This week's prize, of course, is 2 tickets to the Giants-Rams game at MetLife Stadium on October 17th and free parking pass, too. That's a solid prize pack right there. Remember, keyword Danny Dimes.
Super Bowl 46 reunion, October 17th. You could be there.
You could be there. You know, all you got to do is just get that QR code going. All right. Now we're going to send it back down to New Orleans. Kadarius Tony is addressing the media.
Going out there knowing that you execute on side of your brother, that's the best feeling you could probably have.
When you guys won the coin toss, did you know the game was over?
It was a moment kind of when like when we won the coin toss, I kind of looked down the sideline, the whole offense, we were ready to go. And I knew at that moment that we just had to feed up our own energy, because at the end of the day, it's only us that's in the locker room that really kind of believe in us, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just more of a team effort.
What does it mean to you guys that Saquon, after all he's been through, ends up shorting with a touchdown today? How fitting was that?
Hey, like, that was the most exciting moment I feel like I done had, you know what I'm saying, so far, because it's like just to know his story, his journey and stuff, and just being there every day with him, talking to him. He always motivated me, like, every pregame, like, probably so much footage out there, he coming to me, hey, just be yourself today, you know what I'm saying, just do this, just do that, just, you know what I'm saying, be willing to put everything on the line to win the game, and that's what he did right there.
Yeah, you know, I'm looking at Kadarius Tony and all that bling, and I gotta wear these because, man, he has a lot of jewelry on there, doesn't he? He ain't playing around, huh? You can't hide that first-round money, right?
No, you cannot. No, you cannot.
Hey, you know what? Future's so bright, you got to wear shades right here. We've seen him building it up. 6 receptions, 78 yards. Getting that quicker than a hiccup thing. I'm using that.
I'll let you have it.
All
Go
right,
ahead.
you know, I know. I mean, this is the look, though, right here.
Yeah.
This is the look right there of victory.
And maybe a necklace or two?
You know, we'll build towards that. Maybe by next week, Amani will come correct with that full-on Joker look. All right, we got a lot more coming up on the program. Stay with us. We'll be right back with more Giants Postgame Live after this quick break.
It's a wish list on wheels. A choice that requires no explanation. It's where safe and daring seamlessly intersect. It's understated, yet over-delivers. It is truly the Mercedes-Benz of sports sedans. Lease the 2021 C300 sedan for just $449 a month at your local Mercedes-Benz dealer.
All right, it all comes down to this. The Giants score, and our guy brings home the bacon.
But isn't he an Eagles fan?
He's from New Jersey, but his mom grew up in Philadelphia, so it could go either way.
It's a win-win. He wins or his team gets help in the standings.
I'm flying with the birds for life, I think.
Never had a doubt. Download the DraftKings app and feel the NFL action like never before.
90 years in the game.
And counting. This is our house.
We built this house.
It wasn't easy.
We got to rewrite the playbook.
You gotta have the right plays. That's how you do it.
Who's the MVP?
I am. John.
She is.
Without me, this wouldn't exist.
We gotta bring everybody in.
Because that's how we all win.
New Yorkers shared their personal stories about the vaccines.
Yeah, I just got the vaccine a few minutes ago. The experience was good. I don't feel sick. I don't feel nothing. Just ordinary. So I would prefer to talk with my primary care before I do anything. Well, I see my doctor this morning and I asked him the question. He said to me, I said, Doc, what do you think about this COVID? I think I'm ready. He said to me, you have not got it yet. I said, no, I'm waiting on you. So he said to me, go ahead and take it. Because, you know, you have to do it to protect yourself. You have to do something to prevent a virus. You just have to do something to prevent the virus. You got to do it and get it over with. If you feel scared, go to your doctor, get confident with your doctor. I'm just happy I get this thing started. started and it will over, and I just want people to just follow on and go on the ride. Get it over with. We need our life back. I could go home and kiss mama. And I could run in and grab my grandkids them and kiss them now. I'm happy.
Visit nyc.gov/vaccine finder or call 877-VAX-4NYC.
Question for the media at the moment. Saquon, what was your emotion when you crossed the goal line?
Excited. This team been through a lot. We've been through a lot of close games, and we haven't found a way to finish it. And that was just the motto. That's what we kept saying at halftime: stick together, keep leaning on them, and we're gonna find a way to win this game. And we were able to do that.
We lined up across from Lattimore on that touchdown. Were you thinking the ball was even coming to you there? What happened on that play?
We kind of ran that play earlier, and I saw that he was sitting on the out, and me and DJ had a conversation that it could be there. So I just stood ready for it. DJ gave me a great ball, and when you get one-on-one safety, you got to make that guy miss, and I was able to do that and get in the end zone.
Right to DJ there after that. Was that because it just worked exactly the way you saw it?
Yeah, it's kind of cool when you could see things before it happening, and me and him were on the same page, and I kind of just went up to him and saying, "Great ball," and heck of a play.
How gratifying is this for you? I mean, to have that kind of ending feeling. It's been a while for you to kind of be in that spot.
Yeah, we haven't won a game yet this year. So for us to come out here and finish the game in a tough environment against a great defense and a great team and pull that out means a lot. And it's just a start. I feel like we've been in a lot of close games, and we just got to keep going to work every single day, and keep believing in each other, and get ready for next week.
What about you? You say that I know as a team, but like for you, you tore your knee last year. You came back and you're trying to get back to the level you were at, and to have that late in the game, the touchdown, and then the game-winning touchdown.
Yeah, personally, it definitely helps with your confidence to be able to make some plays out there, especially late in the game. Got to be a little stronger on the one run, fumble the ball. That's not something that I usually do. But feels good. Feels good to get the win. Definitely builds my confidence up. And like I keep saying, every single week, I can feel my knee getting better and better, and getting used to it. So just got to keep trusting the process and keep going.
What kind of feeling did you actually feel like you got?
That sound from Saquon Barkley was brought to you by Ford. Saquon with 52 yards on the ground and a touchdown, and another 74 in the air and a touchdown, and really building back from that ACL injury. Love watching what he's been doing out in the field lately.
No question. I think, number one, when you see the way that he's running, pads over his shoulders and getting down over those knees so he can run in balance, run through that contact, and especially in the second half, making much more decisive decisions on picking and choosing where to go with the football and getting those gritty yards.
He said one thing that really stood out to me. He said you could start to see things before they actually happen. That's called maturing. When you're playing football, you're able to make adjustments when things like that happen. And midstream adjusting is how you stay in the league for a long time. So not only is his knee getting better, but his mind is starting to work a lot quicker, and things are probably going to start to slow down for him as well. I see Saquon just taking off from here, from this point of the season on.
I just love the Tom Coughlin midstream adjust that you just broke off.
We got a couple vintage Giants out here on this set right there. We got to keep calling it back. All right, stay with us. We got a lot more coming up on the program as Giants Postgame Live presented by Mercedes-Benz continues after this short break.
Every day, nearly 2 million customers across New Jersey rely on PSE&G to provide natural gas. And every day, PSE&G is committed to doing it safely. That includes making sure you know what to do if you smell gas. A natural gas leak smells like rotten eggs. If you suspect a gas leak, leave your home immediately. Get far away, then call 911. Remember, smell, leave, call. Protect the ones you love. Learn more at pseg.com/gas safety.
When you're hungry, you're not going to let 5,000 feet of mountain get in your way. And if it tries, that's what our lineup of exceptionally capable, available all-wheel drive SUVs is for. After all, we take this pretty seriously. The SUVs and the dinner. Lease a new 2022 Sportage LX all-wheel drive for one.
On this field, you know me by my name and my number.
I put in the work, and yeah, I'm proud of my accomplishments. I retired from the game, but not from wanting to achieve more. I'm on my business journey now, and my banking partner is Investors Bank. They give me the tools and the resources to reach my business goals. For what I do now and what I'll do next, I count on Investors Bank.
As someone who resembles someone else, I appreciate that Liberty Mutual knows everyone's unique. That's why they customize your car insurance, so you only pay for what you need. I mean, just because you look like someone else doesn't mean you eat off the floor, or yell at the vacuum, or need flea medication. Oh, yeah, that's the spot. Only pay for what you need.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
When I shoot, I never miss it. It's a hit. Heard my youngins, they just hit them for a lick. When they hit, it's a split. Young boy run up on them with a stick. When I shoot, I never miss.
Welcome back to Giants postgame.
Really did a great job getting pressure on.
Here's head coach Joe Judge.
Our guys are going to fight straight on through. Made some big-time throws.
We're going to hear from the guy who threw that touchdown.
I'm looking forward to next week and the next challenge.
We've got a lot more coming up on the program.
You were honest with us and said you felt like, it might be rusty in the beginning. Do you feel like today kind of showed that, what you're capable, what this offense is capable of, what you and Daniel are capable of together?
It really just falls back down to just repetition. I feel like, going to this week, my legs felt like, they're starting to get up under me a little bit better. And just trying to stack those days on top of each other. And it all goes back to me listening to my body, listening to the coaches, listening to the training staff, and just being smart with it. This is my 5th year. I'm starting to learn my body, a little bit more, and I'm still learning.
Ken, the pass right before Saquon's touchdown, it was kind of the play you had to develop. Looked like Daniel bought some time. What were you seeing on that play? And, was that designed for you to cut over across?
Damn, which one?
The one right before, it was with the 20, 26-yard.
Your last
yeah,
catch.
In overtime.
To be honest, we worked that play in practice, and it couldn't have been a better time for that play to be called. It was pretty much wide open. I ran a good route, and DJ put it on me. He threw the ball all over the place today.
That sound from Giants wide receiver Kenny Golladay was brought to you by Ford. Golladay had 6 receptions, 116 yards today. He and Daniel Jones really developing that chemistry, and we saw that on some pivotal plays. But we've talked about the offense quite a bit. I have to make one more point about this Giants defense. Blake Martinez went down, season-ending ACL injury, and we are sending our best for him to get well soon. But Tate Crowder, that man stepped up, the green dot on the helmet, and he came in and played some well.
No doubt about it. You saw a lineman assignment, especially him taking care of the front end, and there is a lot of gamesmanship by Sean Payton, where it's almost like hockey line shifts with his personnel. 2 in, 2 out, 3 in, 3 out. He wants to try to make that such a difficult task, especially for a player like Tate Crowder. Did an unbelievable job.
Yeah, the defense did what they needed to when they needed to. Now, I think that, moving forward, they're especially what they're going up against next week, they're going to have to be a lot more assignment sound, tackle the football at a much better clip than they did today.
Yeah, and I think that there's an emphasis on trying to punch the ball loose, but there's also an emphasis on tackling that, that kind of battles a little bit.
Let's just get him down.
But, you got to get him down. Get him down.
Well, it better turn around with the Dallas Cowboys coming in, because if you haven't saw that Carolina Panthers game, 245 yards rushing by the Dallas Cowboys. Zeke had 143 with a 7.2 yards per. Pollard had an 8.8 with 67 yards. And that Cowboys defense continues to get takeaways. 2 more interceptions for 10 takeaways on the season. That's most in the NFL. Dan Quinn's helped that defense.
And Dak just threw 4 touchdown passes with no interception. So this is going to be a challenge not only for the offense, but this defense has its hands full.
No question.
But, next Sunday, 4:25 kickoff at Dallas, the 2nd division game for the Giants so far this season. Coming off a big win, though, in New Orleans, a game that admittedly, not a lot of people picked this Giants team to win. How's that energy going into a division game against the Cowboys, which is a big rival?
Yeah, the Cowboys game is one of those games where they say, if you can't get up for the Cowboys, you can't be in this league. This is one of these teams where, you know, when you're in the draft room and we're trying to figure out who's going to be a Giant, we're looking at the Cowboys roster to figure out answers for what they have, their questions that they have. So this is going to be a better matchup than for the Giants and most teams. But, man, it's going to be exciting. I can't wait to get my popcorn ready.
You had to go all the way to the draft room. All I have to do is go to the butcher, and he's going to say, whatever you do this year, make sure that they beat the Cowboys. That's the way that it is around here when it comes to Giants and Cowboys matchup. Transition, take this momentum and use it again on the road when you get to Dallas.
Hey, it's going to be a big one. It's going to be a good one. But that momentum coming off of that W is going to be pivotal. Giants going to be on the road once again. David Diehl, you're not allowed to change seats after halftime because that might mess up some juju again. We got some superstitions going on.
Almost.
But you know what? Don't call it a comeback. Yeah. They made it work. For David Diehl, for Amani Toomer, I'm Madelyn Burke. Thanks so much for hanging out with us here on Giants Postgame Live, presented by Mercedes-Benz. We'll see you next week.